Baby, cock the Glock and then I let it spray.
He went. Yep, he went. Let's go! Today, the Rays offense was rather exceptional, and it pleased me. Yeah, for about the third game or so, this entire playoffs, the offense actually played good. And I said it yesterday, today's game was an absolute must-win for the Rays. You had Blake Snell versus the Dodgers bullpen. So it was like if the Rays couldn't win this game, series over. You know what I mean? But the Rays, they did it. They pulled it off. And, you know, it was a close score. But we all know by now, it's not a Rays playoff game if it's not stressful. So, you know, you got to learn to live with it. For the second time in Rays franchise history, the Tampa Bay Rays have won a World Series game. Yeah, crazy. This is only the second time it's ever happened. If you remember 2008, we lost in 5, meaning, you know, the Rays only won one of those games. The Rays actually won game 2 of that series, just to lose the next 3 straight. Don't happen again, please. Don't do it. Don't let history repeat itself, please. Because I am going to punch a hole in the wall if the Rays lose the next 3 straight. So, starting pitcher today for the Tampa Bay Rays was Blake Snell. And let me just say, I was not really expecting him to play that well because I feel like after last performance, you know, Snell's just not really that great of a pitcher. But let me tell you, he dealt today. He dealt. Only 4.5 innings played. However, only gave up 2 hits, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts. The man was dealing. The man was throwing filth. I feel like he could have more strikeouts if the umpire wasn't, you know, as strict as he was today. I'm not going to go on, you know, I'm not going to say he was bad for the Rays because he was making bad calls both ways. But, like, you could not throw at the bottom of the strike zone and get a strike. It wasn't going to happen. If you threw at the bottom of the zone, a guaranteed ball every single time. So I feel like there were a lot of missed calls, but it evened out. It was bad for both sides. Top of the first inning, Brandon Lau hits a home run. Brandon Lau, I think he's had 45 at-bats this playoffs with only 3 hits, or something very, very close to that. In other words, he's batting horribly. He is playing like absolute garbage in the 2020 postseason. So very, very reassuring to see him hit a homer today. And that would be the only run in the first inning. You go all the way to the top of the 4th inning. Randy Arozarena draws a walk. G-Man Choi then grounds into a force out at second. So 2 outs, G-Man being the only guy on base, first base. Then Manuel Margot singles, gets G-Man to second. And look, there's 2 outs and a guy running in scoring position. The Rays, I feel like they cannot and will not get a hit with runners in scoring position if their lives depended on it this postseason. They cannot get hits with runners in scoring position. They are just really bad at it, if I'm being honest. And it's super frustrating to watch. So it's at a point where you're just expecting them to not score any runs. Joey Wendell surprised us all with a 2-out double to score G-Man Choi and Manuel Margot 3-0 Tampa Bay. And there you go. The Rays are up 3-0. The top of the 5th inning comes along. The first 2 batters get out, so you got 2 outs already. Then Austin Meadows singles. It's good to see Austin Meadows get some hits because he's not been that great this postseason either. But if I'm being honest, really, there's only been 2 or 3 good batters if we're lucky this postseason. Randy Arozarena obviously atop of them all, but that's about it. And then Brandon Lau comes back up to the plate for the 3rd time of the game, and guess what this dude does? Guess what the crazy son of a did? He hit another home run! Brandon Lau with his 2nd home run of the game and his 3rd of the entire playoffs. And 2 in this game! You love to see Brandon Lau finally getting hot like this, because we all know he's a great hitter in the regular season. He's been absolutely tearing it up for the Rays this season, except for the playoffs. For the playoffs, he cannot hit for shit. Today, he had 2 homers. So Rays are up 5-0 in the 5th inning. Blake Snell, with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th, would walk Hernandez, and then gave up a Chris Taylor 2-run homer. And this was actually the first hit of the game that Blake Snell gave up. So, I mean, obviously it sucks that it was a 2-run homer, but you can't be mad at Snell because it's the first hit he gave up in the game. And then he walked Mookie Betts, and then let Corey Seager single, and then Kevin Cash had enough, and then put in Nick Nasty Anderson. And promptly struck out the last batter of the inning. Top of the sixth comes along Ji-Man Choi singles, and this is a big deal. Ji-Man Choi singles, and why is this a big deal? Because Ji-Man Choi, with this hit, becomes the first Korean-born baseball player ever to have a hit in a World Series. Congratulations, Ji-Man Choi. That's got to be damn cool. Manuel Margot would then single and get Ji-Man Choi to third, and then Joey Wendell hits a sacrifice fly, 6-2 Tampa Bay in the sixth inning. You have a good feeling. I mean, this offense, they actually stepped up today, and they actually did good. So, bottom of the sixth comes along, and Will Smith hit a homer off of Nick Anderson. I don't know what it is about Nick Anderson in the last 3 games he's played, but he hasn't been himself, and it kind of sucks because every single game that I've ever seen him as a Ray, there's only been I've seen a lot of Nick Anderson games. Only about 4 of them has he not played that good. Only about 4. That's impressive. So, he gave up a home run, but that would be it. So, bottom of the sixth comes along, and Will Smith hit a homer off of Nick Anderson. I don't know what it is about Nick Anderson in the last 3 games he's played, but he hasn't been himself, and it kind of sucks because every single game that I've ever seen him as a Ray, I've seen a lot of Nick Anderson games. Only about 4 of them has he not played that good. Only about 4. That's impressive. And then the bottom of the 8th inning would come along, and Corey Seager hit a solo dinger on the first at-bat of the game, and it's 6-4 Tampa Bay. The Dodgers come within 2. And here we go again. Would not be a Tampa Bay Rays playoff game if it wasn't stressful. So, got to make it a 2-run game, but that would be it. Fairbanks gave up that homer to Corey Seager. But other than that, I thought Fairbanks played pretty good. They replaced him with Aaron Loop in the late 8th and early 9th, and he balled. He was playing on his A game, and he hasn't been that great of a pitcher this postseason so far. So, sheesh. Good shit, Aaron. And then 9th inning, Aaron would get the first 2 outs, and Kevin Cash was taking no risks with Mookie Betts on deck, so he made a call to the bullpen with there being 2 outs in the 9th inning. So he replaced Aaron Loop with Diego Castillo just to guarantee the win. And obviously nothing guarantees a win in baseball unless you're the 1919 Chicago White Sox. But, this is pretty much as close as it gets. Putting in Castillo to get one last out in the game. And you know what happened? 3 pitches, 3 strikes. You're out, Chris. See ya. Game over. For the second time ever, the Rays have won a World Series game. And I'm hoping there's more where that came from. Despite the offense playing good today, the pitching staff, they still gave up 4 runs. And I thought they played awesome. I thought the pitching staff was on their A game, but they still gave up 4 runs to the Dodgers. And that's what scares me, because how many games are the Rays going to be able to score more than 4 runs? And the answer is not very many. The Rays will have more games with less than 4 runs than they will more than 4 runs. It's just how the Rays work. So, obviously, we get the win today, but this is still a concern. And I get that it's not very many runs, but again, this is the Tampa Bay Rays offense we're talking about. It's very rarely that they score more than 4 runs. Today was just one of those lucky days. Hopefully today was a preview for the offense for what's more to come. Brandon Lau getting dingers, Austin Meadows getting hits, Yandy Diaz having a hit, Joey Wendell having a hit. I mean, the whole offense. Even Willie Adames had it. He's been one of our worst hitters in the playoffs, and even he had a hit. And it's funny because when they panned the camera to him, he was like all laughing, like, oh, finally I have a hit. You know what I mean? And then Randy Arozarena, he only had 1 hit today. The reason I say only is because it was an infield single. Like, he just ran out the throw because it was a good placed little dinker. So, Randy still without a homer in the World Series. I can't imagine that lasts forever. Randy's been so incredibly elite this whole postseason, setting records, having the spotlight all over him. I'd be surprised if he didn't have a home run, at least 1 home run in this World Series. So who knows? Tomorrow, I think for the first time in any series this postseason, the Rays have an off day. They didn't have a single off day in the ALCS. Didn't have a single off day in the ALDS. I don't think they did. And I don't think they had an off day in the wild card. So, we actually have an off day. It's Thursday, so you won't see me tomorrow. But the Rays are back at it on Friday. It is Walker Buehler, who has been dominant for the Dodgers this year, so that scares me, versus the almighty Charlie fucking Morton. And every Rays fan loves Charlie Morton. Good old Charlie. I imagine he'll have a pretty good game. I mean, his postseason stats, 3 starts, a 0.9 0.57 ERA, 17 strikeouts. That's Charlie Morton's postseason stats. You look at Walker Buehler, he's had 12 more strikeouts this postseason than Charlie Morton has had. However, he's only played one game, but he does have a higher ERA. It's 1.89, which is still incredible, don't get me wrong, but Charlie Morton's is just next level. 0.57, are you kidding me? And plus, what I like about this game is that Charlie Morton's already played a World Series game versus the Dodgers before. He's already won a World Series game against the Dodgers before when he was with the Astros. So that's what I like about this game. Charlie's got that experience, man. That's why it's super helpful to have him on the roster, have him on the team, because he knows what the hell he's doing. Will the offense get any hits off of Walker Buehler? Shit, I expect at least one hit off of Walker Buehler. Hopefully they can just drive his pitch count up, get him out in 4 or 5 innings, and then start finally getting hits off the bullpen. But I don't know, man. We'll have to see. So I imagine the Rays will wear their white jerseys. The reason I mention this is because Game 1 we wore the dark blue, the navy blue. Game 2 today we wore the grays, which we have not worn a single time this postseason so far until today. We finally wore the grays. So they've already had, assuming they go with the whites on Friday, that would be 3 games, 3 different jerseys. And get this, on Sunday, I would like to think that they wear the light blues because that is their designated Sunday jersey. And they already wore it in the postseason this year, so why wouldn't they do that again? So look, I'm just saying the Rays could go through their entire uniform rotation, which is aesthetically pleasing. I'm a sucker for uniforms, and that's why I'm mentioning this. Yeah, I mean, the uniform matchup it's been really traditional versus modern, and I think it's funny. I think the Dodgers uniforms are super I get they're traditional. Come on, I'm a Chiefs fan. I understand being traditional. But the Dodgers, it's just boring, man. Just super boring, super basic. I don't know, man. But the Rays, they've got some sexy uniforms, and, they might get through their entire rotation this postseason. So, all right, man, Game 3 on Friday. I'll see you then. Go Rays, baby. Peace out.